Okay, so this chapter is all about functions and how to write them and all kinds of crazy neat stuff. So let's first start off by talking about the first section, using graphs to relate two quantities. So when you're looking at a graph, first off, I want to point out, make sure you know how to plot points. So there's a few things I want to talk about in your in here. First thing is when you're looking at the coordinate plane, if you look at point zero is, or point O is the origin. That's 0, 0, right? That's the origin, 0, 0. So letter N is 0, 0. So if I right there, boom, there you go. It's letter N is 0, 0. Now, and when I move, if you think about it, when you have a coordinate plane, it's x comma y. All right. Now, this is the first quadrant. This is the second quadrant. This is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Okay. When you do these things, when you plot points, x moves left and right. So x is the L and the R, and the Y is the up and the down. You have to know that. So if I look at, say for instance, if I go here, 1, 2, up 1, K is at the point 2 comma 1. So 2 comma 1 is point K. If I look at L, it's back 1, 2, 3. So negative 3 up 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3, 4. Make sense? I think you've seen that before. So let's go ahead and continue. You can finish the rest on your own. All right. Problem number one. The graph shows the volume of the air in a balloon as you blow it up until it pops. What are the variables? Describe how the variables are related at various points on the graph. So here's an example. First off, every chart, this is the title. That's the title of the chart. Okay. When you think about it, if you extended this out this way and this that way, this is a lot like the x, and this is a lot like the y. So when it asks what are the variables, well, the variables for x is time, and for y, the other variable is volume. Now, when you look at this, you can see that as you pop, blow up until it pops. So this is like, if you think about it, this part of the graph, whoop, excuse me, excuse me again. This part of the graph right here, it shows that the line is going up. So if you look, as time goes on, the volume is increasing. All right, that's kind of like you're going blowing into the thing. This, you can see that the volume hasn't changed, so that means I probably am holding it constant and I'm not blowing in there because I have to catch my breath. Then it's this part of the graph is the same kind of slope. I'm blowing in just as hard, right? And then this is again another straightaway. Okay, that means that I'm not blowing um, into the balloon. Okay, and so then this is another constant, blowing in, stop, and then boom, this is when it pops and it goes straight down. You can see that it's gone. There is no volume. Constant, the time has uh, stopped. So the variables are volume and time. The volume increases as you blow, and then it stays constant, which means that you took a pause to make a breath. When the balloon pops in the middle of the fourth blow, the volume decreases to 0. So does that make sense? So that's how we describe those various points on the graph. You have a got it that's very similar to this kind of stuff. Try to do that, and let's meet back here in a minute. So when you look at problem number two is dealing with a couple things. One, it gives you a table and it has some graphs here, but really when you look at this, it says a band allows fans to download its new video from its website. The table shows the total number of downloads after 1, 2, 3, and 4 days. Which graph could represent the data shown in the table below? Now, you look, days go on, and is this a constant? If I look at this, is there a constant change in here? From 346 to 1001. So if I thought about this, if I graph it real quick, I go like this. All right, here's day one, 346 could be like boom right here. But then day two is at 1111. So that's like this. And then day three is way more. So it's like shot up quickly. And then day four is like right here and it's boom. So it's not a line, so it will not be A. It will not be D. Okay, so if you look at this, which one's it going to be? Because on here, this is my day, this is my X, and this is my downloads, right? This is my download. So if you had to take a guess at which one this would it be B or would it be C? I probably would say it's most likely going to be B because that one right there looks kind of goofy, but really what it is you got to think that the table, the number of downloads increases each day, but it's greater than the previous one. So it's what that one is if I had to give it a name for a function, it would be called exponential growth. It would be exponential growth, which we'll talk about that in um, the near future. So you have a got it. Why don't you pause the video and see if you got it. Next one, sometimes they give you a situation and you're going to have to actually sketch a graph. So a model rocket rises quickly, then slows to a stop as its fuel burns out. It begins to fall quickly until the parachute opens, after which it falls slowly back to Earth. What sketch of a graph could represent the height of the rocket during its flight? Label each section. So if I had to think about this, the first thing is what's my x-axis? I think if I'm thinking about a rocket, my x-axis, first off, I'm just going to have something like this. So I guess this would be time, right? And this would be height. Okay? Now, if I think about it, if I launch the rocket, it rises really quickly, so it's going to be like that. Then what's going to happen is it reaches a certain point and it's going to start to come down. But when it comes down, it's going to come down pretty quickly like that because it's like a free fall. And then what happens is the parachute comes out, so then it kind of comes back down to Earth constantly and slow, if that makes sense. So if I had to label this stuff, if I had to label these parts, then I would probably say that. Let's see, I got to change my color here. So if I had to label it, then I guess this part right here, um, this would be my rise quickly, rise, right? This is this part right here is where I stop rising. This part is where I fall quickly, and then this is where I fall with my chute. Does that make sense? So you have a got it. Why don't you pause the video and try to do the got it? All right. So check off words that you don't understand. Variable quantities. Do you know what that is? That's like your X and your Y. Increase means to go up. Decrease means to go down. See if you know those things. If you don't, watch the video again. And I look forward to seeing you in class tomorrow. And may the